But enough about me talking about my favorite colors and stuff. You guys came here for some Tetris action. That's what you get. Both players are ready. Let's go ahead and count them down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. So once again, we have our 5th seed Rapta going up against our 12th seed Felinho. Well, these players are fighting to advance to the next round, where they're going to have to be facing the winner of Chiala and Obelix. And to start things off, Felinho did pass up on a Tetris very briefly. Very briefly. Was able to get a long bar and, oh, not quite able to get that eyepiece to fill in the dependency. Gets the eyepiece. Really, I'd say that's a fair T to get. Not necessarily, you know, bad, but definitely having an easy method of continuation following the piece sequences would have been nice. But regardless, we are looking absolutely solid here for both players. 71,000, scratch that, 94,000 for Rapta. 4 burn lines here in the opener. Felinho trying to get into a, oh, actually nice setup. Beautiful delay burn setup. That's going to open up the well for Felinho. Felinho currently at 77,000. Just waiting on the long bar here. And looks like both players might be running into a minor drought. Felinho finally gets the long bar. Rapta gets one as well. So both players just keeping it clean. Either player really getting into any trouble. Felinho had a little bit of situations that costed a few burn lines. But at most, Rapta would be up by a Tetris worth in points. However, it is possible we could be in a tie position, as Rapta is forced to burn a couple of lines. So Rapta's going to fall slightly behind. And wow, these are some really tricky pieces to deal with. Rapta is going to go ahead and create a hold to open up the well for the possibility of using a long bar to score. And finally is able to get a long bar. Felinho, on the other hand, had a T-spin dependency set up, did not get the T-spin, or did not get the T-piece in time for the T-spin, rather. And is still having to deal with the repercussions of that T-spin setup. And oh, try to make an adjustment. Saw that the J was next. Nice flat burn with the T-piece, as opposed to going for the T-spin. Very good stacking recognition right there. And Rapta so far has extended the lead to about 2 Tetrises, as Felinho is now in desperate need of a long bar in the center. Found a way to kind of circumvent it, converted the long bar dependency into just an L dependency, back into a long bar dependency, but the eyepiece comes. Felinho opens up the well, trailing by 60,000 points approximately. Both players are at the same line count, so Felinho just needs to score this Tetris and try and build momentum going into the second half of the pre-transition. Unfortunately, RNG is not giving Felinho an opportunity to really gain any momentum. Ran into a massive drought right there. Now L or J dependent. However, Rapta is starting to slow down. Felinho has the capability to score a couple of Tetrises. There we go. There it is. Tetris for Felinho. Starting to gain some ground. And Rapta cleans up. No, Tetris for T... Or not for T-Storm. For Rapta. T-Storm is not playing in this match. However, Felinho's done a fantastic job of bringing the deficit back. And wow, look at all these overhangs from Felinho. Left and right, or right to left tucks, followed up by a Tetris. Still trailing by 40,000 points. And Rapta is definitely putting on the pressure. We're looking at a 500k transition for Rapta and a potential mid to high 400 for Felinho. There's Rapta knocks down another Tetris, can try and score 4 more with perfect play. Realistically is likely to be 3. RNG is just never that kind in the last 10 lines. Yeah, so Rapta can try and grab 2 more. Meanwhile, Felinho getting the stack under control. Rapta, interestingly, sets up a delay burn. And this delay burn is going to force them to burn into the transition. But they are going to be Tetris ready. And Felinho or Rapta is going to transition at 541. Felinho is going to transition at 421. So far, nice plays over here for Felinho. And there it is, Tetris for Felinho. 455 to now 568, a 100,000 points separation. And Felinho with a little bit of a T-piece dependency in the stack. It's always peculiar whenever you see these kind of shapes develop. However, Felinho trying to get the board back into scoring position. Beautiful skim into a Tetris. 487 and now 627. Rapta continuing to put a massive amount of pressure on Felinho here. And at this point, Rapta is really on a comfortable pace to get a max here. It's going to take their time to get Tetris ready. And there it is, Tetris for Rapta. Felinho still having some complications here, going on level 22. And with both players being at identical lines, this is a true lead. Right now, Rapta Tetris ready. So is Felinho. Felinho knocks down a Tetris. Rapta waiting on the long bar. Going to go for the conservative double and is going to be able to convert. And Felinho, nice overhang. Needs to be a little bit careful. Takes the triple. Just stacking. Just, wow, what a spire. Now, Felinho's going to have to find some way to navigate through this and preferably efficiently as Rapta is not slowing down. 755,000 for Rapta. 603 for Felinho. Felinho's just going to have to burn this all the way out and down by almost 200,000 points. We're getting to the point to where 29 play is a necessity unless something absolutely tragic happens to Rapta. RNG forbid. Both players are clean. There's another Tetris for Felinho. 671 down by 140. Another Tetris for Rapta. Rapta knocks down another Tetris. Felinho yet again running into complications. I'm not entirely sure what they're capable of on 29. But at this point, it is going to become necessary. Meanwhile, Rapta actually having some complications. Felinho down by 400, or not 400, 120,000. That's 4 Tetrises. If Rapta doesn't score any Tetrises and is stuck in this perpetual burn, there is a chance that Felinho could come out on top. There it is, Tetris for Felinho, down by only 100,000 points. However, Rapta is almost cleaned up entirely. Another Tetris for Felinho, 845 to now 908. Scratch that, 942. And what a dagger of a Tetris that is. Might put the nail in the coffin right there for game number 1. As Felinho knocks down another Tetris, 1 Tetris off of a max out here. Let's see if Felinho's able to do anything. These pieces are not complying. Felinho's going to top out at 880. So Rapta is going to be good for game number 1. Anyways, both players said that they're ready for a game number 2. I'm ready as well. Let's go ahead and count them down. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. All right, things are getting started. Nice spin right there over there for Felinho. Way to solve the misdrop. Only resulted in 1 burn. And I don't know about you, but 1 burn for a misdrop, I'll take that any day. 2 quick Tetrises for Felinho. As Rapta knocks down a Tetris, and we are currently tied. Both players with the same amount of approximate efficiency here in the opener. And one thing that you could already see from both these players' playstyles is Felinho likes to go for more of a creative approach. You see a lot more overhangs, and this generally results into some scary situations like what we saw in level 23 of game number 1. But it also allows for the opportunity and the chance to be efficient in certain areas. Meanwhile, Rapta's stacking has been rather solid. It's to the point, I guess you could call it a little bit archaic in the terms of how not many spins are set up, not many tucks, just really solid play. And we saw how much of an advantage that Rapta was able to gain in game 1 as a result of this just incredibly solid minimal risk stacking. But here it is, Rapta off to an early, roughly 30,000 point lead. There's another Tetris for Rapta, 177 to now 120. And this situation is rather peculiar over here for Felinho. Goes for the Z spin. And Felinho's in trouble. Felinho needs to get a piece over to the left. That's going to help burn a double. Decides not to place the long bar in the too deep dependency. So still trying to work the burns out. All right, gets the I piece and the corresponding L to fill in the dependency. This is getting real tricky. And oh, that hang is going to do it for Felinho. We're going to have an early top out, unfortunately. So Rapta is good with 270,000 at 61 lines. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the way that Corian stacks. He's been such a dominant player for that same reason. Let's go. Rapta with the Vits at the end. Very cheeky indeed. All right, well, we got it ready from both players, so let's go ahead and count them down. Game number 3. Here we go in 3, 2, 1. Tetris. Hey, that one was pretty close. Getting the hang of this timing thing. But as it stands right now, Rapta is 1 game away from advancing to the next round in the blue bracket. And Felinho is 1 game away from staying alive further in this match. If Felinho loses this next game, then their journey in this tournament for this month is over. However, it's not over till it's over, and we've seen some insane reverse sweeps and just straight up overall comebacks here on the Classic Tetris Monthly channel. Which, if you want to see some more of that stuff, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. If you're already watching this on YouTube, check out our live stream so you don't miss out on this insane action live. But so far, both players off to a really good start. Fortunately, Rapta is going to be forced to take a couple of burns here. Nice burn right there. And going to get a slightly dirty Tetris. It's going to be interesting to see how they decide to approach this. Are they going to try and set up for a column 9? With the way that the board is set up, a column 9 Tetris and a perfect whale transfer is possible. And that's exactly what's going to happen. And that's going to put us more or less in kind of like a tie position, separated by a double worth in lines. And there it is. We're tied. And Rapta, unfortunately, had to take a couple of burns. Did get a T-piece to fill in the dependency. And Felinho with this massive S-Spire. Alright, slowly getting the stack filled in. Rapta gets a J piece. The ideal piece right there. Both players knocked down a Tetris. You could still be in a pretty closely tied situation. There is another Tetris for Felinho. And with that, Felinho is going to be essentially caught up here. I started, talking about last game how Felinho has a very creative stacking style. And you could see, like, in situations right there, where given a really awkward Z piece, Felinho was able to take, I believe, only one burn throughout that entire sequence and maintain a pretty stable stack. And it's those things that allow Felinho to help maintain the required amount of efficiency to kind of essentially be tied with Rapta here. And that's almost what you have to do, because do keep in mind in first game, even though Rapta had around a 100,000 point lead, Felinho, or rather almost a 200,000 point lead in some points of the game, Felinho was able to chase it down towards the latter part of the post transition. And if they weren't separated by around 100,000 points at transition, Felinho could have very well taken that game, or at least made it closer than it was. But currently, we're just over the halfway mark. 360,000 for Rapta, 310 for Felinho. Felinho having to do a little bit of skims here just to stay alive. Nothing too serious, but great placements right there on the L. Good recognition for the Z, and unfortunate. A missed I spin. And missed I spins are kind of brutal. There are very few ways to solve them efficiently. And it seems like this is going to be a costly endeavor for Felinho, as not quite given good pieces here. Felinho able to make the adjustment for the J. Alright, he's brought the stack down successfully and could try and go for a column 8. Meanwhile, Rapta at 452,000, looking at a 600k transit. Oh my gosh! Felinho going incredibly aggressive, just trying to hold out for the particular piece that he wanted, and it's not quite there. Potential misdrop right there on the J as well. Nice, able to get the spin. Felinho is going to survive this. Unfortunately, survival comes with a pretty hefty price tag. And that price tag is Felinho now being down by 160,000 points. We are nearing the transition as well. There is a line discrepancy, but the line discrepancy doesn't matter if you don't make it any further than this, and Felinho is in dangerous territory. There's a long bar dependency on the right-hand side. Cannot burn any more lines until a long bar comes. All right, there it is. Able to just narrowly get it over there. Looks like Felinho looking good pieces so far. That's going to be a great L piece right there. Still needs to find some way to kind of open up the hole safely. Oh, nice tuck on the J. Sets up a delay burn with the I piece. Felinho transitions at 404. And Rapta transitions at around 596. Somewhere around there. Rapta also having to do some burnout. Meanwhile, Felinho, almost down to the bottom, is going to go for this column 3. Not going to fill in the J piece dependency first, though. And that's going to bring the board out of Tetris contention. Felinho needs to skim for a piece off to the side. Is not going to be able to do it. Just going to reset, get the board under control, and having to start scoring here down from the bottom. But the issue is there is a 200,000 point lead for Rapta, who's currently at 661,000. Felinho goes for the high tuck. Waiting on the long bar. Square bursted into oblivion right now. Finally gets the long bar. Just narrowly gets it over. The survival Felinho has displayed this game has been phenomenal. Unfortunately, they're down by 250,000 points. It's going to take a massive dig from Rapta, or heck, just even a flat top out in order for Felinho to try and make up some of the deficit. And another misdrop for Felinho. Going to set this back a few more lines. Deadly situation set up. Left well, holding out for the long bar. Oh no, couldn't get the long bar over. And Felinho's going to top out at 471. So Rapta is good for game number 3. sweeping the 12th seed Felinho and advancing to the next match in the blue bracket. And Rapta, this is around 1.1, mid 1.1 territory. There's another Tetris for Rapta, 898. So mid 1.1, maybe 1.2 with some 29 play. Rapta prepared to demonstrate the keyboard rolling strats to get the 1.2. But, oh, let's go ahead and give Rapta their third heart. They deserve it. And there it is. There's the max for Rapta. Was close in game 1. Didn't quite get it. Was able to get it here in game 2. But Felinho, amazing play. It's nice seeing the way that you stacked. Very creative. And a lot of solutions were not quite what I expected. And a good majority of them turned out to be a bit more efficient than just some typical rigid placements. And there it is. Couldn't quite get the long bar over for the mid 1.1, but a 1.1 was achieved.
Hey everybody, this is your old pal Vandweller, host of Classic Tetris Monthly. If you like this video, hit thumbs up. If you want to see more videos like it, please subscribe and bang that notification bell. And follow us on Twitch at twitch.tv/monthlytetris. Thank you, and have a nice day.